Greetings everyone and welcome. I'm your host Captain Ryan. In today's video I'm back once more in the Fighting Fletcher here in World of Warships. As the battle gets underway, it's loop, it's domination mode, and I am headed towards the C cap point. Now, the enemy team has the destroyer advantage right off the bat. They've got 5 destroyers to my team's 4. So much for the new matchmaking on this one. But that's okay, because I'm in the Fletcher, and that in and of itself is worth 2 ships. Now, as I push in towards the C cap point here, take a look at the minimap situation. Our team is basically splitting itself going to the C cap point, so I've got a lot of backup. This is good for me. The team is also pushing up to the B cap point, and they're also pushing up to the A cap point. As I push into the C cap point and start capping, enemy destroyer pops up here. Now this could be a bit of a problem for me because it is one of the Japanese gunboat destroyers. However, he doesn't seem particularly interested in shooting at me. He's popped his smokescreen basically the moment he was spotted there, and now he's going to try and drop back and hide in it. First set of torpedoes out and away based on the prediction of him just continuing forward, laying that smokescreen and trying to run away. Second set, however, popped in towards the middle of the smokescreen because it looked like he was slamming on his brakes, and more than likely he was going to try and reverse. Now, he does get spotted here in his smokescreen thanks to one of our many radar ships that are coming this direction. So I'm able to open up on him, but look at that, torpedoes right into him, right on the money. First blood to me, and there is a dangerous destroyer gone right from the get-go. But I have other issues to worry about here as the enemy Belfast pops up here. Now, that's premium cruiser, has high explosive, has radar, and has hydro. Fortunately, no torpedoes, but still a very dangerous and highly annoying cruiser to deal with if you're in a destroyer. Fortunately for me, even if the Belfast does pop his radar right at this particular moment, I'm not inside of its range. I think that Belfast radar range is only something like 7.5 kilometers. But also, equally important, he's behind an island, so no matter his radar range, he can't shoot at me anyway. And the Amagi on his team, the only other ship on the enemy team, back over by the C cap point, well, he's basically running away, heading up to regroup with his team up towards the A cap point. And from the initial, it looks like that's where the enemy team is going towards. But look here, we have 2 destroyers in the B cap. But the B cap isn't actually going up. Now, briefly, there was a cruiser spotted, and there's that cruiser. Tier 8 New Orleans, very dangerous cruiser if you are a destroyer, because he's got radar. He's got a pretty reasonable rate of fire, but most importantly here, it's that radar that he has, that he can put out there. He can spot these destroyers, and as you can see, it looks like those destroyers are being spotted. I don't know if it's through hydro or radar, but either way, they were spotted there. They're taking quite a beating already, and they've got a bunch of other ships popping up here that could be a serious problem for them. It would really not be beneficial for the team to lose 2 additional destroyers, considering we've already lost one. Enemy team took their sweet time capping the A cap point, so that's good for us, as it's going to give my team that points advantage here, since both teams are down a destroyer. But my team, well, thanks to me, we captured the C cap point early enough in the battle. We have somewhat of a points lead here. Fire off a set of torpedoes, open up with my main guns there on that New Orleans because it is such a dangerous ship there. And that's when I realize I've come around too far. I'm spotted by that Belfast. But look at that, I don't even have to pop smokescreen, as the Belfast does it for me by popping his own smokescreen and breaking line of sight. And as mentioned before, we've lost both of these destroyers there in the B cap point. Luckily, friendly Miyoko up there, as well as the Atlanta back behind there, able to take out that Fletcher there, and that just leaves the Benson up there, and look at that. This Benson is taking all sorts of a beating. He has definitely got to be regretting his life choices there. The problem for me, though, I've got a New Orleans here that I am open and exposed to. The good news is New Orleans is busy shooting at the Miyoko and not at me. Now, I could pop my smoke screen here, but there's really no point because, well, radar there. As that New Orleans drops back behind the island, line of sight is broken, but I'm still being detected. Again, the radar. The good news is, radar only going to last a limited amount of time, and there we go. Drop off detectability. The radar's done. Plus, friendly destroyer smokescreen, and I think possibly the Benson laying a smokescreen there. Either way, friendly smokescreen up here, gonna keep me hidden, giving me the opportunity to push up. Now that New Orleans still has some health left. The good news is he doesn't have a heal. Pop my smokescreen as I push into the B cap point. New Orleans starts shooting at me, but he's got armor piercing loaded, so that armor piercing not going to do as much damage to me as he could have. Shots out there, but I don't get the kill. The Musashi actually takes my kill there. Enemy Amagi pushing around. Both teams now down to just one destroyer apiece. Myself, and I do believe there is the enemy destroyer is actually a German destroyer, so I do need to be careful of that guy. He's gonna have hydro if he decides he wants to push up here. In the meantime, though, both teams roughly equal on points. Enemy team currently up by approximately 1 point, but as I'm capturing the B cap point, notice that I am basically uncontested here. Now that Amagi is in a position to potentially contest this cap, but he can't shoot at me, so at least for the time being, I'm going to be able to sit here. I'm going to be able to take the cap. We can start gaining those points, and we don't need too many points in order to gain the lead, but it doesn't matter anyway. As we kill another ship, we gain the points lead outright. That Amagi, I was firing armor piercing and not high explosive, was actually doing a lot of damage, a lot more damage than I expected. Switch over to the high explosive. I'm trying to set a fire here, get him to burn down, get him to burn his damage control before my torpedo hits, but my torpedoes managed to hit anyway, so that's going to cause the flooding there. That's good news, because that's going to force him to hit that R key and stop the damage from coming up, and any subsequent fires set afterward, well, they're gonna burn, and that's what I'm hoping for here. I'd like to set another fire. It'd be wonderful if I could get yet more going on here, more damage caused here. That Amagi turns around. He doesn't want to face the battleships that are back over there, although they do manage to take out the ship that is back over there, leaving just one in a position to shoot at him. And that Amagi, well, they're just exchanging gunfire anyway. Now, I fire off a set of torpedoes here, but his torpedoes are completely worthless. I was thinking about the Yu Yang and not the Fletcher, as that Amagi is outside of my torpedo range, and he is sailing away. So those torpedoes, completely pointless. Now, though, I'm in a position, I have to decide what exactly I want to do. Pretty much the remnants of the enemy team are all effectively at the A cap point, with the exception of that Amagi and that Iowa. The Amagi himself ends up managing to put the fire out before burning down. That's a little bit disappointing. I decide I'm going to open up with my guns there because he is just inside of range. Briefly spotted there, but that island blocks a shot there. As I push forward here, since I fired my guns, I am going to be detected briefly. The good news, though, have the smoke screen available, can use it, but because I didn't continue to fire, drop off detectability here. So now I can just sit here, not use my smoke screen for a little bit, and keep it for when I absolutely need it. This Iowa up here pushing around, initially I fire those torpedoes long past the lead indicator because I thought he was going to keep turning and maybe try and turn around and run away, but instead, nope, he's starting to turn back. Really disappointed by this change of events because I'd absolutely like to get a torpedo hit on him. Instead, pop my smoke screen. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to start opening up with guns. Maybe I can set him on fire, start burning him down, force him to burn that repair, and then hit him with torpedoes and cause flooding. That would also be quite wonderful. Now, I fire off a set of torps. I fire them a little bit long there, half in front of the lead indicator, expecting this Iowa to maybe stay that course or potentially turn in, but instead he's actually continuing the turn, and now my lead indication is going to be completely off. Iowa manages to kill our friendly ship back over there, and so he drops off detectability. So in order to re-spot him, I leave my smoke screen in an effort to can see him, and maybe, hopefully, the friendly ships down there will be able to shoot at them, but they are in fact chasing the other Iowa. They did manage to finish off that Amagi, although he was pretty low health. The Iowa, however, is going to survive a little bit longer here, as his lead indicator with my torpedoes is clearly showing he's going to be behind that island, so I'm not going to be able to get torps off at him. But this Pepsi Cola, perhaps I'll get lucky here. The enemy team is still holding on just barely. They are continuously able to sink our ships and stay in the fight. The only thing really that's keeping this battle still going and keeping my team somewhat in the lead is that we're A, able to continue to sink the enemy ships, and B, that we have 2 of the 3 caps. Now, because we have 2 of the 3 caps, I am going to be able to accurately determine where those enemy ships that were up at A are going to go. They're going to come to B, they have to come to B to take it from us. Unfortunately for me, just like the Iowa, the Pepsi Cola turns out and all of my torpedoes miss, and by the time I realized that was going to be the case, try to get torpedoes back on him, the island is blocking the way there, so not able to do that. If we look out in the distance there, friendly New Orleans gets taken out. There wasn't much anybody could do for him, as he was isolated back in the corner there, effectively being spotted by the enemy destroyer and being shot at by at least 2 battleships and probably a cruiser. Now, my team has 2 battleships left here, and we have a destroyer myself, and I've got a lot of health here. This is really going to come in and play a huge role here. Because I've got a lot of health, I can actually afford to go and start charging down these battleships. I can get close to these battleships and utilize my torpedoes and utilize my guns, utilize my maneuverability, and effectively outmaneuver them to get up close to point-blank range where I know I'm not going to miss and cause them serious problems. Now, I'd really like to torpedo this Iowa. I'd also really like to not get within detection range, so I'm keeping my distance. I fire off 1 set here, but I'm gonna hold the 2nd set. I'm gonna hold it because I don't know how he's gonna turn, plus there's a Pensacola back there, and if this set hits this guy in all of its glory, I might not have to use it, and that, of course, is when we see that lead indicator turning in again. So, for whatever reason, this Iowa has decided he's gonna turn in. All of my torpedoes are not going to hit. I am going to get at least 2 there. I am going to cause flooding. Gonna fire off my guns here. Hopefully I can set them on fire. It looks like he's flooding, but he's put that flooding out now. The big problem, though, I have is I still have that 2nd set, and I'm waiting. The issue is I can't and don't want to use it on this Pepsi Cola because the Pepsi Cola is fairly low health, but also because that Iowa could be pushing in. He has a heal, and he could have all sorts of additional health. So instead, I'm going to open up with guns, and that's when the Iowa reveals himself by effectively firing his main guns. He gets lucky with a blind shot, manages to connect. I got lucky, set that Pepsi Cola on fire, but not enough to kill him. Fire blind there as he drops off detectability, and given the Iowa's position, he's going to spot me any second. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to come around here, and I'm going to force him into an engagement he doesn't want to be. Basically, I'm going to make him play with me. Now, his guns are trying to diverse, but I'm a little bit faster. Still have the speed boost up there. Fire off 2 sets of torpedoes there. I only needed 1 to kill him, but just wanted to make sure. There's the Pepsi Cola. Finish him off with guns for the double strike. And finish off 2 potentially problematic ships. But we still have the German destroyer back over there, the Mass. And he's engaging our 2 battleships. The good news is one of them is a Missouri, and the other one is a Musashi. Both, if they focus their fire and their secondaries, should be able to take him out. Of course, the Missouri probably not going to have the manual secondaries, but the Missouri secondaries still could cause a reasonable concern for that destroyer, considering he's just a tier 7. Almost managed to connect torpedoes from that first battleship kill on the Gneisenau here. Would have been wonderful if I'd managed that, but he does dodge them, slows down, missed there. Friendly teammates managed to take out that destroyer, and now it's just the Gneisenau left. because my team has 2 of the caps, and because we're 3 ships to 1, and I've still got most of my health. The Missouri has half his health, a little bit less, and it looks like the other battleship back over there still has all of his health. There's really, realistically, no way we can lose this, although it is probable that the Missouri is going to die because Gneisenau has torpedoes, and torpedo battleships are gonna torpedo. Missouri starts turning in. He's not going to make it difficult for the Gneisenau to hit him with torpedoes, but the Gneisenau manages to flub his torpedo hits anyway and doesn't kill our Missouri. And look at this, the guy only connects with 1 torpedo, but look how low health he is. Come on, can I get the kill? Can we finish him off? Is it possible? Are we going to do it? No, we don't actually manage to kill him off before we cap out on points there. 128,000 damage done. Double strike, first blood in that game. 3 kills for me. A lot of main battery hits. Only 7 torpedo hits, though. Results like this, though, combined with the 2 solo base capture ribbons, top of the team for XP, earn at 2,100 base XP. The next nearest guy is our Missouri at number 2, and the Musashi surviving down at number 4 there. Incidentally, that Gneisenau, the last guy left on his team, not top of his team for XP, and the Mass earning that at 1,100 base XP. But that Gneisenau did earn his Dreadnought achievement at the end of that battle. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you liked the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me and the channel, you can do so by becoming my supporter on Patreon. Every dollar certainly helps. If you've got a replay like this one that you'd like to see featured on my channel or like to have me take a look at, you can send it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play various games live, you can do so by following me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below, and as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.